An assassin named Leon receives a hit to take care of his mob boss's rival, who has entered his town without permission and not taking the boss's phone calls. The target arrives at a hotel heavily guarded to take care of some cheeks. Afterwards, he gets a call from one of his men who has a gun in his face, saying that somebody serious is coming up. The boss gets his men ready and they hear the elevator coming up. Turns out it's just one of their own men. Leon drags one man over the stairway and hangs another by his necktie. Now terrified, the man sends his underlings to check the terrace, but they get locked out and all killed. The target frantically grabs two Uzis, searching desperately for a way out. He grabs the phone to ironically call for the police, but as he waits, Leon emerges from the shadows with a knife around his neck. Leon tells him to call a number which belongs to the rival boss. He is warned that today should be his last day in town and he should never return, to which he gladly agrees. Leon ensures he understands, then disappears into the shadows. Leon takes the train home and grabs his usual 2 bottles of milk from a nearby store, before heading up to his apartment. Upstairs, a young girl named Matilda is secretly smoking a cigarette. She hides it when Leon begins coming up. He asks her why she hid the cigarette and she tells him she is hiding it from her father. Leon notices a bruise on her face which she says was caused by a bike. She asks him not to tell her father as he heads into his room. Matilda's father is being confronted by a gangster about his product being cut. He swears he knows nothing about it, and the boss, Norman, gives him 24 hours to find out who messed with his dope before leaving. The dad then angrily smacks Matilda, sending her to clean up the house. Leon sees this but does nothing, finally getting to relax and remove his mini armory strapped to his body. Leon is living quite a lonely life, drinking milk religiously and taking care of his plant and sleeping with his shades on. Matilda lives with her bully older sister and younger brother, while her mother is always out of the house for work to take care of the family. She takes a call for her mother, which turns out to be her school, who are about to terminate Matilda for missing classes for 2 weeks. The next day, Leon hears the father hitting Matilda once more but ignores it, instead heading to a cinema, where he enjoys an old musical movie. He returns home to find Matilda with a bloody nose, and she asks if life will always be like this, to which Leon says yes. He gives her his handkerchief and Matilda then offers to buy his milk, skipping away happily. Outside in the hallway, Norman and his goons turn up at Matilda's apartment with bats and guns. Norman pops a perk before he bursts into the room, killing Matilda's mother in the bathtub, guns down Matilda's sister, before cornering her father in the kitchen. He orders the men to torch the apartment, but they do not realize Matilda's brother is hiding under his bed. Matilda's father slowly inches his way for a hidden gun, grabs it, shooting one man and sending the others running for cover. Matilda's father tries to escape but Norman shoots him. Norman is angry that he messed up his suit and empties his barrel into him. Meanwhile, Matilda is returning from the store with groceries and sees the men in the blood, and hear them talking about killing a little boy. She heads to Leon's apartment in tears, begging him to let her in, which he does after a while. In the family's apartment, the goons realize that there are supposed to be 3 kids inside the house and go searching for her. One goon who noticed a girl walk past him, goes to check Leon's door but changes his mind at the last second, which saves his life. Leon asks Matilda about her family. She doesn't care about them but cries for her little brother whom she loves. Matilda sees Leon's guns and finds out that he is a hired hitman. She wants revenge on her brother's killers but Leon's price is $5,000 a head, so Matilda decides to work for Leon in exchange for learning how to become an assassin. Leon turns her down and just tells her to get some rest until tomorrow. Matilda thanks him for his help, but Leon becomes awkward, not used to people being kind to him. That night, Leon is about to get rid of Matilda and the complications she has brought into his life, but changes his mind. The next morning, Matilda is determined to become an assassin but Leon tells her he works alone and she should go. Matilda reminds him that he saved her life and is now responsible for it. She knows she will die if she leaves, and when Leon thinks she is just a little girl, she fires a gun carelessly through the window. Due to this, they have to move apartments and get a new spot downtown. After checking in, Matilda then persists that she wants to become strong and smart like Leon as she is tired of being weak. Leon brings Matilda to the roof, giving her her first lesson on being an assassin. He sets up a sniper rifle, telling her to get her practice by picking any target in the park, but avoiding all women and kids. With Leon's guidance, Matilda targets a jogger and hits him with a paintball. For the next few days, Leon teaches Matilda how to use guns, working out together, and sharing glasses of milk. One day Matilda gets tired of the constant work and wants to play a game. She plays show and tell, dressing up in different outfits, asking him to guess the character, making Leon very uncomfortable. The two end up playing and laughing together, something that Matilda has not done in ages. Leon goes to meet with his employer Tony, who tells Leon that he missed a few jobs. Leon lets Tony keep all his cash but now wants to spend some of his money. Tony thinks he has found a woman. He warns Leon about women but gives him $1,000. Later, Matilda confesses to Leon that she is in love with him and can feel it in her stomach, but Leon tells her that he is late for a job and leaves. Bored, Matilda heads downstairs to the lobby. The desk man asks about her father but Matilda tells him that he is her lover. She heads over to her old apartment, still a mess and riddled with bullets, and gets her stuffed bear and packs a few clothes. She sees where her brother was killed and breaks down crying. She also finds a stack of cash that was hidden in the floorboards. She hides when Norman and a few cops come in, asking him about what happened. Norman swears it was all in self-defense before storming out of the apartment. Matilda follows him, getting a cab to trail him until she realizes that Norman is a police officer. She returns home where Leon has brought a present for her, but then the desk man comes knocking with a stern look on his face. Leon and Matilda are forced to leave the new apartment and get a new place. Leon is showering and we see that he got injured from his last job. Matilda gives Leon $20,000, telling him to kill Norman and giving him his address. Leon will not take the job. He warns Matilda to avoid revenge as she will be forever on the run. But Matilda tells him that she either wants love or death. Matilda decides to play Russian roulette with her life. If she wins, then Leon needs to keep her with him for life. She puts the gun to her head but Leon stops her just in time. Leon takes Matilda to meet with Tony, telling him that he got injured and wants to take Matilda with him on jobs. Tony is hesitant, but allows Leon to do as he pleases. Leon takes Matilda to his next job. He uses her soft voice to get access to the man's apartment. Leon corners the man. Matilda assembles her gun and takes aim while Leon coaches her on where to place her shots. Leon finishes off the guy while still giving her lessons. The two head out to have a drink to celebrate Matilda's first time in the field but Matilda wants a kiss instead. Leon refuses her, telling her to change the subject. The two then hit multiple targets together, with Matilda growing more and more confident. They arrive at an apartment where Matilda uses the same story about being lost, but the target is ready and opens fire at the door. Leon uses a grenade to avoid a messy situation. Leon goes to see Tony. He tells the boss that if anything should happen to him, all his money should go to Matilda and Tony agrees. Leon is going on his next job but decides to leave Matilda behind, saying that this job is too dangerous. He tells her that she needs to grow up and stay alive and leaves. Matilda stays in, does the shopping, cleaning, and waits for Leon to return. She then decides to take her revenge. She waits for Norman to get to work, before turning up as a delivery girl. Matilda tracks Norman down to the men's room, but Norman has caught on to her and ends up cornering her. Norman wants to know who sent her, but Matilda tells him she is here for herself. She tells him that he killed her brother. Norman pulls his weapon and is about to shoot her, when his goon comes in, telling him that one of their men got killed. The man was doing a drug deal when an assassin wearing a dark cloak came in, telling them no women no kids before killing them all. Norman decides against shooting Matilda but has her brought to his office. Leon returns home to find a note from Matilda, telling him about her mission and leaving him the cash if she should not return. Leon goes over the building, taking out the guards before killing the men keeping an eye on Matilda and takes her back home. Matilda puts on the dress that Leon brought for her. She brings him a glass of milk, telling him that a girl's first time should be special. Matilda wants to give it up to him, but he turns her down. He tells her about someone he loved a long time ago but she was killed. Leon took revenge for her death and left to come to America and has never loved again. Matilda then gets Leon to sleep in his bed for the first time and cuddles beside him. Later, Tony is keeping a party for his kids, when Norman and his men barge in. Norman tells Tony that his man was killed by an Italian man, the same man who came to rescue a girl who came to kill him, and all Italians know each other. The next morning, Matilda decides to go shopping for breakfast and Leon reminds her about the secret knock. She is returning from shopping when she is grabbed by a team of masked men. They get Matilda to use her secret knock, but she knocks in a different pattern. A few men enter the apartment but gunshots ring out and the men are killed. Norman then orders every cop from the precinct to turn up and surround the apartment. Another team is sent in, but Leon wipes them out once more. He puts his gun on one man, ordering them to release Matilda. Using the man as a shield, Leon moves back into his apartment with Matilda behind him. The men surrounding the house then open fire, tearing the place to shreds. The police then move in with shields. They bring out a rocket launcher and prepare to blow the apartment up. Leon brings Matilda to the kitchen and begins to hack his way through the ventilation to create an escape. He saves his plant and grabs Matilda, putting her inside. Matilda sees that the escape is very small, and realizes that Leon intends to stay behind and begins to cry. She begs Leon to come along with her, but Leon tells her he loves her and urges her to leave, right before the men fire, blowing the apartment up. Leon is injured but survives. The men move in and find one of their men, helping him out of the apartment as the entire team moves in to get Leon. They bring a medic for the man, who turns out to be Leon, but they do not recognize him as the doc helps him out. Norman is ordering his men around when he sees Leon and he slowly backs away, then ordering all the men behind him out of the building. Leon stumbles out of the building using an empty stairway to make his escape. Unknown to him, Norman comes up behind him, shooting him. As he is dying, Leon pulls his grenade pins, handing them to Norman before they both blow up. Meanwhile, Matilda is able to escape and make her way back to Tony, who survived Norman's attack. Tony tells her that she has access to Leon's money and he will take care of her. Matilda wants to work instead, but Tony tells her to forget about killing in that life. He gives her some money and tells her to return to school. Matilda heads back over to her old school, telling the woman everything that happened to her. She goes out into the yard and plants Leon's plant, telling him that she thinks she will be okay. Remember to turn on notifications, so you can watch more movie recaps like this. Thanks for watching.